Hi everyone, my name is Mike from Cornell Cooperative Extension of Nassau County, and this week we are celebrating National Dairy Goat Awareness Week. On June 12th of 1986, the American Dairy Goat Association presented 6 dairy goat kids to the United States Department of Agriculture. The American Dairy Goat Association issued a life membership certificate and a painting of dairy goats to President Ronald Reagan. In response, Reagan issued a proclamation calling upon the people of the United States to observe this week with appropriate programs, ceremonies, and activities related to the dairy goat industry. The National Dairy Goat Awareness Week officially became the second Saturday in June and ending on the third Saturday in June. So when it's time for our goats to be milked, they'll come into the barn and they'll climb up on our milking stand. This head gate right here is called a stanchion, and it holds the goat in place while they're being milked. The goat has plenty of feed to keep them busy at this time. Now to start milking, we want to approach the goat slowly. We'll bring our bucket below, and to milk them, we'll take our thumb and our index finger. We'll pinch off the top of the teat, and we'll use the rest of our fingers to slowly squeeze the milk out the bottom. So the amount of milk that our dairy goat produces depends on their breed, their age, and also their diet. This here is an Alpine goat, and on average she'll produce about 1.5 to 2 gallons of milk per day. A standard lactation for a dairy goat is 305 days. In that standard lactation, they can produce anywhere from 3,000 to 5,000 pounds of milk. Instead of milking our goats by hand, we can use what's called a milk machine. The milk machine works with a vacuum pump that draws pressure into our compression tank, and in return, we'll pull the milk out of the udder and into our bucket. The pulsator on top of the milk machine alternates pressure so there's not a constant pull on the udder and is more natural, like a kid suckling. The inflations are the part of the milk machine that draws the milk out of the udder. There's 2 lines that feed into the inflation. We have our air line that comes from the compression tank that pulls the air from the outer cylinder. And also we have our milk line that pulls the milk from the inflation into the milk bucket. To put our inflations on, we'll put the tip of the inflation up to the teat and we'll turn on the pressure. Goat's milk is naturally homogenized, which means that it has smaller fat globules that keep their consistency throughout the milk. If you allow cow's milk to sit in the fridge for longer than a few days, you'll notice a definitive cream line where the butter fat begins to separate itself from the milk. In comparison to cow's milk, goat's milk is nutritionally similar and has no difference in taste. You'll also notice that goat's milk is whiter in color and is easier to digest for people who are of lactose intolerance. This federal event was established in recognition of the economic significance that dairy goats as well as their products have in the United States. In addition to fluid milk, dairy goat milk can be used to make cheeses, fudge, soaps, and even lotions. There are 9 major breeds that are raised primarily for milk production. In addition to raising goats for milk, goats can also be raised for meat, fiber, and recreation, such as pack goats or driving goats. For more information about goats, contact your local goat organization or your local 4-H office. Find out how you can get started on a dairy goat project for this year's Dairy Goat Awareness Week.